marriage. Everywhere you turn to, marriage. You turn to the street, marriage. You turn to the church, marriage. You turn to the mosque, marriage. Social media, marriage. Everyone is talking about marriage, but there are few that understands what marriage requires and what marriage entails. I am going to give you this difference between the natural challenges in marriage and the trouble that we encounter as couple most often. There are natural challenges as far as marriage relationship is concerned. There are natural challenges. You won't escape it. They are inevitable. It's challenges. Just as temptation is not a sin, temptation is a test, it's a pull for you to do what is wrong. As much as it's not a sin, if you are tempted or you have the urge of doing what is wrong, as long as you have not sinned, it's not an offense. I was tempted to steal, but I didn't steal. It's not an offense. But it's only when you stole that it is offense. So when you hear marriage, everyone is talking about marriage. Even those that do not qualify to talk about marriage are talking about marriage. Even people, everyone is listening to every voices about marriage. Even the voices that we should not listen to. Now I am going to give you few differences between natural challenges in marriage journey and troubles we encounter due to our failures to obey godly principles. When you look at every effective staff, effective employee in a company, there has been wonderful companies that they might have about 1,000 or more or less employees, and you see some certain few winning the award of the best this, best that, best that. Let me tell you, the truth of the whole matter is that even those that are not winning the best staff of the year, they have what it takes to win it. But the difference between the one that is winning it and the one that is not winning it is what they have decided or determined to do. When you are employed in an organization, there are rules, there are modalities, what you expected, duty roster. If you follow that duty roster and do it effectively from your heart and you are committed to it, as the Bible said that whatever your hands founded to do it well. I am telling you, there is no way that your employer will not be proud of you. Just also as for you to get admission, I'm not talking of the institution that are in for money, that once you can pay the bills and they will take you, whether you merit or not. I am talking of a well-organized and effective and efficient institution. There are qualifications, there are criteria that you are required to meet before they will take you in. And also, when you are taken in, there are criteria, there are qualifications, there are attitudes, there are character, there are do's and don'ts that you are also required to keep to if you must come out of that institution and come out well. So also is marriage. There are principles, there are instructions, there are rules, there are law, there are order, there are attitude, there are lifestyle that is required for you to stay in marriage and stay fulfilled in marriage. Whereby you don't put up or you don't obey those instructions, those rules, I am telling you, that is why we are having problem with marriage. Marriage is sweet. I make bold to say marriage is sweet if we have the right understanding of marriage. I do not want us to mix up things. When you mix up your failures in marriage, which is as a result of your disobedience to the recommended or required instruction, and you mix up with the natural challenges that comes your way in marriage journey, it's not the same. Now listen, in marriage, the first natural challenges that will come in marriage is communication differences. Communication differences. I once had a counselor and a marriage teacher, the person of Pastor Tinu Oye Johnson, shared a story. In this part of the world where we are in Nigeria, there are people we call Ajebota and there are people we call Ajepake. Ajebota, as for you to understand it, we liken them to the people that were born and bred with silver spoon. They are born and bred with silver spoon. Right from their childhood, they were sent to school. They know all the diction, they know all the phonetics, they know all the pronunciation. Why also the other set we call Ajepake are the set of people people that come from a poor background, but who are determined to succeed, and they are succeeding as well. Now, the background of these two people are different. These ones grow up in a family where there are timetable for food, where they eat in the dining table, where they know the time to eat, there the time to sleep, and where there are orders. But this one grow in a place I will call ghetto, whereby you must survive. Either you die or you survive. Now, these two people get married together, and each time the man travels, he will buy clothes, he will buy shoes for the wife. And once he go home, and the wife will ask me, honey, you didn't buy me chocolate. And the man will be worried. Upon all these things I bought you, and nothing that he buys for the woman, if there is no chocolate, that will the woman appreciate. And it became a serious issue. But when they met a counselor now told them, by the two of you have different backgrounds, and by the differences of your background, what appeals to you may not appeal to her. So what do you do is for you to go back to her as a school and begin to learn her. And this is also what I think Gary Chapman called the love languages. Most time it is important for us to know what love languages is all about. Love languages is not you just giving gifts to someone. Love languages is not just you doing something for someone. Love languages is you meeting your partner's need as he needs it. As he needs it. If imagine whereby what your partner loves is a flower, and each time you're coming, you travel and you bought different shoes and clothes, he will not appreciate it. What he desires, what he loves is a flower. So, number one challenges that will arise in marriage is communication differences. At times, you may be from different tribes. Even when you are from the same tribe, you are not from the same family. Even relationship between the twins, there's always a default in need. They always have challenges. How much more? A man, you don't know how he was brought up. A woman, you don't know how she was brought up. And two of you ending up as husband and wife. Are you telling me there's not going to be challenges? There are going to be challenges, but all you need to do is begin to learn yourself. Learn to understand yourself. So the first thing is natural. When you begin to have communication differences, it is natural. Couple may have different communication styles or struggle to effectively communicate their needs. It's necessary. It's not a crime. When we got married newly, I learned English in the hard way. Why my wife learned English maybe from the rudiment as a result of her system of schooling. Why my own system of schooling, we pick it from the top. And from the top, we now come down to go up. Why some people, they pick it from the ground and they go up. They know all the dictions. They know all the synonyms and the acronym. They know adjective and verbs. But most of us is now we are trying to learn those things. And when I'm using some verbs, some adjective for my wife, she feels that it's offensive. She feels it's insulting. What do? And I have to mellow down, humble myself, and begin to learn. So that is communication differences. It is natural. Number two things, which is also natural challenges, is financial strain. Managing finances can be challenging. And disagreement over money may arise. There are people, as a result of their background, they must do budgeting before they spend. Why there are people, as long as there is an alert, there is money in the bank, whatever they see goes. I fell on that stage too. I'm trying to learn. You're telling me to do budgeting. I am still learning. I have not learned it. I don't know how to do budgeting. As long as money is available and is for spending, whatever that I need, whatever the family need, I goes. But my wife is the type that she doesn't spend that way. So we begin to learn it. Some people, right from their upbringing, even from their family, they have been taught budgeting. They have been taught financial management. Not everyone. So when you got married to someone who you are taught this and your partner may not have taught it, it is natural. But what do you do? That is where understanding comes. You must sit down to couple together. You must sit down to discuss things. You must sit down to learn. Bring every discussion on the table and see how it works. Number three challenges is parenting differences. There are varying parenting approaches that can lead to conflict. There are some women, there are some ladies till they become an adult, their parent has never used a cane or rod on them. There are people that their parents don't even use harsh word on them. I don't mean negative words. Their parents don't raise voice on them. And now you are married to someone that all they use to them when they say one and two, he does not understand. The third one is bad, with either with a rod or with a cane. Now, two of you have marched together as a couple. And when a child begins to come, there are bound to be conflict in your parenting approach. When you say, I know you don't know, you don't shout. You want to raise cane. I say, no, you don't flog children. Not that they don't flog children. She grew up from where she was never known what cane or what rod is all about. It's not that they don't flog. Because even the scripture said, spare the rod and spoil the child. But the approach she's used to or her background has never exposed her to that. But now you are married to her. It is not something that should break the marriage. It's not. It is something that both of you should sit down with understanding to learn how you have to manage yourself together. With understanding, you can cope. With understanding, you can manage it. With understanding and with time, you will come to understand each other. So I want you to understand natural challenges that are inevitable. And don't think you need to manage them and say through your marital journey is understanding and knowledge about them. Now, number one thing that are creating problem. Most of the problem that we are facing, problem, not challenges. Trouble that comes as a result of our failure to adhere to godly principle. Number one, lack of spiritual unity. Failure to prioritize spiritual growth together can lead to a lack of unity and shared value. I often tell singles, before you must marry, please make sure you marry someone of like faith. Somebody that believes on what you believe and the way you believe it. It is very, very important. I've never seen, if there are people you know, go and see either they are working on themselves or they are just tolerating each other. I've never seen two people that married from different faiths that are not having and will not have trouble. They will have, because it takes understanding of spirituality for you to see you and your husband as one entity, as one, even though you are two physical persons. So when we ignore spiritual unity, marrying someone that does not believe what you believe the way you believe it, when we ignore it, it brings problem. Number two, disobedient to biblical rules. Ephesians chapter 5. The Bible said, woman, submit to your own husband, not every man. That submit simply mean in a layman language, respect your own husband. Don't marry someone you will not respect. Don't marry someone you will not respect, please, ladies. And anyone you have ended up in marriage, be ready to respect that person. And the Bible said also, man, love your wife. Show her affection. Care for her. And the Bible said the man is the head of the family. Headship does not mean dictatorship. Headship does not mean rulership. Headship does not mean that the wife is your slave. All it means that you are now the leader. And mind you, there is no leader, effective leader, that does not possess the characteristics of a servant. So you must be ready to serve your wife, serve your children, serve your marriage in order for your marriage to work. Number three, and this is where we stop, failure to forgive. Not practicing forgiveness as taught in the Bible can lead to resentment and bitterness. Failure to forgive. Many people married together have not forgiven each other. Imagine whereby I visited a young couple that their marriage is not up to 1 year. I stumbled into a diary and where the young girl was writing the offenses. Not a marriage not up to 1 year. She was noting down the offenses, what her husband did to her, what her husband's siblings did to her. But the senior one, before enough, the husband is the last born of the family. It was right diary. How can that kind of marriage? And some men, that is why some certain correction is not working. When you want to say, that is how you did the other day. That is how you did last year. That is how you did when we went there. If you are forgiving her, you won't be making reference to it. If we don't marry someone of the same spiritual unity, marry same faith, someone that believe what we believe the way we believe it. If we don't marry someone that also have the understanding we have also in the area of biblical rule, it is a problem. If we don't marry someone that can forgive us even when we offend them. Someone said that marriage is a university of offenses. Marriage is a university of offenses. Before there will be understanding, there must be misunderstanding. Product of misunderstanding misunderstanding is understanding. He may have offended you, she may have offended you, but once it happens, sit down, discuss it, and let it go and move ahead. And it is my prayer that you that is watching or seeing this broadcast, that God will give you understanding to all that I've said. If you are married, He will give you understanding how to reprogram and reposition your marriage for enjoyment and for pleasure and for fulfillment. And if you are yet to marry, God will give you understanding how to step into marriage and how to live in your marriage so that God's intention and purpose for your life and your couple will be fulfilled. Thank you for watching. God bless you. I love you.